Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside the Den, your weekly look at everything Wallace athletics. Exciting show today, as we've been promising. 9 sports are going to compete for championships, so just getting in to the busiest season of athletics here at Wallace State, and look forward to catching you up on everything that's going on with that. We'll got a great show. We'll catch you up on those things. We'll get you to an interview and a sit down with Tyde Borden of Wallace State baseball, which is really fun as baseball starts their campaign this week with a few games, and we get to see what they're all made of after a second place finish last year, and they look to expand upon that. So you'll love that interview with Todd, and we look forward to that. But first, before we do that, let's catch you up on this past week in the Den. Busy week. The number 5 ranked softball team, 5th ranked softball team in the country, our Wallace State women, kicked off the season down in Florida and went 3-1 over the weekend, scoring 40 runs over the 4 games, and highlighted by some performances. Kaylin Jones batted .769 on the weekend, going 10 for 13 as the leadoff. A couple of freshmen making their debuts with the Lions in Sydney Gurley and Alyssa Hunt hit 500 and 462 respectively on the weekend, with Alyssa adding 8 RBIs to her total. And the Lions will return. We'll get you that. They'll play a tournament here in Gardendale this week, and we'll catch you up on that later. Men's and women's tennis both off to hot starts at 5-0 in conference play, or in early season play, not conference play, but in early season play, as they look to defend their conference titles, and the men look to improve upon their 7th place finish in the country last season. Women's basketball, men's basketball, both in the throes of conference play. Women's basketball continuing a fairly dominant run, with a 3-0 since our last episode, with wins at Calhoun and at Lawson, and a defeat, out of conference defeat of Community Christian here at home just this past Monday evening. Men's basketball, a little bit of a rough start from the road, lost at Calhoun, was able to defeat Wallace, and then was defeated here by Shelton on a makeup game just the other night. So all those teams at it, and getting at it. We look forward to that. That's it for what happened this past week in the Den. And before we catch you up on the standings and the national rankings and get you a look ahead, let's let you listen in to our visit with Tyde Borden of Wallace State baseball, and I think you'll really enjoy that. So let's get it over to that now. Okay, everybody, welcome back to another Voices of the Pride segment. We're here today with Tyde Borden, right-handed pitcher for Wallace State, freshman this year, getting going, and visiting with him as baseball season nears. We open, as we sit here, we open on February 5th, just a couple days away. Tyde, thanks for taking some time to be here with us today.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us, from Priceville, well, before we get into kind of your team, let's tell it from Priceville, kind of always played baseball. Kind of tell us your story and how you ended up playing baseball and how you ended up here at Wallace State.
Yeah, so obviously played baseball my whole life. It's my favorite sport. Played football as well. Love football too. I was really close to going and playing, but I knew baseball was my true sport. I knew it's what the Lord wanted me to do. I'm better at it anyway. But yeah, like I've always known about Wallace being 40 minutes down the road, and I didn't really know Coach Putman or anything, but I had always heard stories of the crazy coach up at Wallace and just how he ran his program like a military camp. So I'd always heard stories, and to be honest, it kind of scared me. But as my senior year neared, we got to August of my senior year, and Coach Everett at the time was here, and he called me, and we're talking, and I came up here and met Coach Putman, and I loved it. I love the campus. I love the school. And so from that point on, I kind of had my sight set on being here. I mean, I had talked to other places, but nothing really felt, like this place.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's a great place. You mentioned Coach Putman. Coach Putman's been here, um, I think longer than lots of the buildings here, and just a really good coach. He's one of the winningest coaches, if not the winningest coach in the NJCA in baseball right now. So, kind of talk just a little bit more about the draw of Coach Putman and what really, when you visited with him, what really kind of set it over the top that really made you feel like this was a place.
Yeah, so I mean, just right off the bat, when I was talking to him, like, I mean, obviously, he knows what he's talking about. He's had success for however many, decades, and it's worked. He's won a lot of games. He's had a lot of great teams. And just talking to him, and one thing that was a big, you know, deal for me was just the confidence he seemed to have in me. And like for me, that was a lot because talking to other places that didn't really seem as interested, but when talking to him, it was, he seemed like, in a few years, he kind of tightened me up a little bit. He kind of made me feel like I could be that guy. So just the confidence that he has in me and that I see that he has in other players, and just knowing that another thing, he knows what he's talking about. There's a reason he's done it for so long and he's so good at it. It's because what he does works. He knows how to win, and that's why I really want to play for him. Is because I want to play for a coach that knows how to win.
Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome. What so we get into the year. Tell us how the transition has been from high school baseball. And high school is one thing, and I always been around college athletics a long time. I always I think kids and especially males do the most growing up in that first year, first freshman semester of college, where they're first time they're away from home, first time they have to manage their own time, first time all that stuff. Tell us, you got any good stories from learning how to do that?
Oh man, it's a big culture shock, to be honest. I thought I was ready to leave and do my own thing, but I find myself going home every weekend. It's a lot different. I don't really think there's anything in high school that could have prepared me for what I'm going through with Coach Putman and the guys right now. I don't think there's anything that could have allowed me to be ready for that just because of the amount of transition it actually was. But I think the biggest thing for me is having to cook for myself. Because I mean, I've eaten some sorry meals. I remember one in particular. I think I was gonna make spaghetti, only to realize had no money and had no spaghetti sauce. So I whipped up some ground beef and I ate straight up ground beef. And that's about the gist of my cooking experience. But I think that's the worst part for me is having to just, and it's not even that bad. I mean, yes, as I'm getting older, I have to learn these things, and laundry terrible, cooking terrible, but it's a growing phase, and I'm getting used to it.
So everybody listening, if you're in high school, thank your mom. She done a lot for you. Oh yeah, I'm always absolutely. So say thanks. Oh, no, I love that. That's great. Um, tell us a little about your team. I know you guys got a chance to practice and play a little bit in the fall and kind of travel around some. Kind of those are mostly tune-up games and things. So kind of tell us a little bit about your team with the season just a few days away now.
Yeah, I think we have a great group of guys. I'm so excited to start this season with these guys. I mean, we've worked crazy hard. Coach Putman has put us through the ringer, and we've come out and we're better because of it. We have a great group in the infield. We got a great group in the outfield. We got a good rotation in the bullpen, and a lot of sophomore leaders. We got a lot of leadership, and guys like that I look up to, like Eli or Drew, or Cooper Sanford, that I really look up to. And I see that they played last year's freshmen, and so I see that and I was like, okay, it is possible. Um, but yeah, we have a great group of guys, and I mean, we have worked our butts off, just doing everything that Coach Putman has for us, going through the fall. Because there's, with the exception of a few guys, most of us have never played together before. So getting into the fall, didn't really know what to expect. But fall went very well, and then we get into winter workouts, that was getting down, figuring out who was tough and who wasn't. And I think for the most part, the guys that we have with us right now that stuck it out, I think I think they grew significantly. And I think that because we've gone through what we have and we've gotten closer together as brothers and as a team, I think we're going to have a great year.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's so important. People. I mean, there's obviously, you mentioned a lot of success that happens at places like this, and obviously coming off a year where they were, probably not as good as they wanted to be throughout the year, but finish well and play well at the end, and get to the championship game against Shelton, and come up just a little bit short. But um, talk about that with your team. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of pressure to uphold the standard around that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me this as you get into it. I think, tell me, you're a right-handed pitcher. I know you don't know for sure where you're gonna be, but as we open, I mentioned this Friday, February let me get the date right. February the 6th, open up at home against Frontier College. So keep a check on us for that, because that's not always happening. But then we'll have several home series early in the year, as lots of northern teams have to travel south to play some baseball. Todd, tell me your favorite story that you can tell us from your winter workouts.
Wow, winter workouts. Oh man. I think off the bat, I think this was my welcome to college moment. It was after the fall. We had already gone through the games and everything. So we're done practicing. We're just working out with Coach Putman at this point. And it was my first lift with Coach Putman. Like, he just wanted the pitchers to be in there with him once or twice, to really just, I guess, just let us have it. But I remember one station in particular. It's hack, squat, and leg press. And he loads up just about as much weight as he can. And on hack squat, that's a lot to ask. And so I go through 2 or 3 stations, and I get to this station, and I had been dreading it the whole workout because I had been like cutting glances, and I see all the people that are just dying. They get off of it and their legs are shaking. Well, I get on the hack squat, and sure enough, Coach Putman's on his stool right next to me. And as soon as I start going, he turns in his chair and he's just looking straight at me. And the whole time, he's just sitting there letting me have it. He's like, "You gonna stop? You gonna be a baby? You gonna be a girl?" Like, the whole time. And I'm like, "No, coach, I'm not." And I go to rack the weight when I'm done after a minute. And I can't push the weight up to the top because I was just that tired. And he gets up close to me, and he's like, "You gonna push the weight up? You gonna push it up?" And and I can't do it. Somebody comes up behind me and helps me. He's like, "Attaboy, Todd." Oh, in his voice. But yeah, I think because I stepped off of the hack squat machine and instantly my knees buckled. And so I was like, this is not high school anymore. It's like, ready to go.
I love it. I think that's, I think, and it gets a lot of that a lot of times, like, but guys it's a different level, and every different level requires a different you. And so I love that you guys are getting pressed and challenged to reach that next level. All right, we gotta go. We got about 10 minutes here, and so I appreciate your time. But let me, before we go, you gave us a little bit there of Coach Putman. So I want to get a prediction from you, where we finish the year.
Where we finish the year?
Yeah.
I think we finish with a dog pile. I mean, I don't think if that's not your goal, then what are you doing? So I think that's all of our goal.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome, man. We appreciate the time, and thank you. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
It was great to visit with Tyde Borden of Wallace State Baseball. What a fun visit we had with him. Let's get you into the rankings and the standings. Several Wallace State teams currently ranked in the nation, highlighted by our women's softball team, which currently sits at 5th in the country, and off to a strong start at 3-1, as we talked about earlier. Tennis, our men's tennis team ranked 8th in the country, Got a visit coming up with some of those guys on a future episode. You won't want to miss that. Women's basketball ranked 18th in the country, and looking to improve upon that as the season continues. Let's catch you up in the standings. As it's the aforementioned women's basketball, 2 teams in conference play right now. Women's basketball, men's basketball. We'll start with women since we just mentioned they're 18th in the country. Currently sit at 2nd in the conference behind the 5th ranked Shelton State Community College Buccaneers, with Wallace State's only setback coming in conference play, coming in a 2-point loss to Shelton here at home. So that they'll look to continue their winning ways and an opportunity to get that game back as a visit to Shelton looms here in the near future. Men's basketball standings not quite as clear-cut, much more even balance, as Shelton State and Gadsden State currently sit tied at the top at 5-2. And Wallace State just behind them at 4-3, with a couple of home contests coming, and they still have everyone again, so still very much in control of their own destiny there in those standings. As we mentioned, let's get you to what's next and what's coming next in the Den. Tuesday, February 10th, baseball. We mentioned they opened their campaign at Central Alabama Community College, 12 o'clock on Tuesday, February 10th. Men's and women's tennis also at Central Alabama Community College. That start time will be 1 p.m. as well. On Wednesday, February 11th, there will be a home men's and women's tennis match versus Shorter University, 1 p.m. On that day. Thursday, February 12th, women's basketball and men's basketball. There'll be a doubleheader in Tom Drake Coliseum versus Bishop State. Women tip at 5:30, men to follow at 7:30. Then Friday, February 13th, busy day with a home women's tennis match versus Snead State Community College at 1 p.m. Baseball, softball, both on the road. Baseball at LB Wallace at 2 p.m. and then to follow versus Enterprise in the same place at 4:30. Softball will play in Gardendale this weekend at the Turf Wars Invitational in Gardendale, Alabama. You can catch the Lions at 2, 4, and 6 on Friday the 13th at Bill Noble Park. They'll play 3 games all in that one day at Bill Noble Park. Then to get you into next week, Monday, February 16th will be the final game of a 3-game homestand for men's and women's basketball, as they'll take on Gadsden State with special tip times there of 2 and 4 p.m. for President's Day. Women at 2, men to follow at 4 p.m. That'll be all for this week at Inside the Den. We appreciate you being here. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode, especially next week as we visit with 2 Wallace State tennis players as they look to defend their ACCC crown and have eyes on a national title. It was a great interview, great visit with those guys. You won't want to miss it, so be sure you're following us so you don't miss that. Also follow all our athletics programs on Facebook, Instagram, and X so you never miss an update. Until next time, this has been Inside the Den. Go Lions.